Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled, No, It's Not Universal. Something hit me recently, and I don't mean some deep philosophical thunderbolt from the heavens. I mean something simple, almost stupidly obvious that somehow most people still don't get. There's no universal way to live your damn life. None. Zero. Zilch. We all do things differently, think differently, and choose differently. And guess what? That's not only okay, it's the point. There's no singular correct way to talk, act, think, love, or succeed. That whole idea is a fantasy people cling to because it makes them feel safe. It gives them some illusion of control over chaos. But the truth is, life's a giant mess, and everyone's just winging it. What works for one person might be a total disaster for someone else. So this idea that there's a script we're all supposed to follow? Toss it. Sure, we've got laws, jails, and the whole morality police squad ready to pounce if someone crosses a line. But those exist to keep people from hurting each other, not to define how everyone should live. You don't get thrown in prison for being unconventional. You get judged, ridiculed, maybe even rejected. But that's not the same thing. That's just society being uncomfortable with what it doesn't understand. The feeling that there's a right way to live? It's a lie we're fed early. Do this. Say that. Go to school. Get a job. Marry someone. Have 2 kids. Buy a house. Die quietly. It's a template, not a truth. And if you don't follow it, people act like you're lost. But maybe you're not lost. Maybe you're just not interested in walking someone else's path in someone else's shoes. Take relationships. There's no one way to do those either. Some people thrive in monogamy. Others are poly. Some need daily texts and constant reassurance. Others want space. And all of it is valid. But try explaining that to someone convinced their version of love is the gold standard. Suddenly, you're the problem. The difficult one. The person who just doesn't get it. No. You just don't fit their mold, and they can't handle that. The same applies to friendships. I've seen it 100 times. One person thinks friends should talk every day, share every detail, bleed emotionally on command. Another friend thinks once-a-month beers and the occasional meme are enough. Neither is wrong. They're just wired differently. And we keep trying to shove everyone into the same behavioral box like that won't eventually explode in our faces. You get this weird backlash when you don't conform. People start side-eyeing your choices like you've committed social treason. You quit your job without another lined up. Irresponsible. You take time off to travel. Lazy. You run your business in a way that doesn't maximize profit. Stupid. No. You're just doing you. But that scares people. Because if you're okay breaking the rules and still finding peace, then maybe the rules aren't all that real. And that messes with their heads. My dad owned a few businesses, did things his way, and never gave a damn about whether it looked right to others. Some of them ended. Some didn't go as planned. But it was on his terms. People judged him anyway, whispered about what he should have done differently. But here's the thing. Those people never built anything themselves. They just followed instructions. And that's the difference. Even in careers, there's no one-size-fits-all. I've seen 2 people with the same job title do that job in completely different ways. One was buttoned up, obsessed with protocol. The other was all intuition and improvisation. Both got the job done. Both were respected. Because results matter more than form. But we're too focused on how something looks instead of what it does. We act like life is this neat little puzzle with one solution. Newsflash. It's not. It's a sandbox. And everyone's building their own weird crooked castles with whatever tools they've got. Some use buckets. Some use sticks. Some just dig with their hands. And none of them are doing it wrong. They're just not building the same thing as you. Get over it. But here's where I'll throw you a curveball. There are a few universals. Not many, but a few. Almost all of us want happiness. We want safety. We want love, connection, purpose. We want our families to be okay. We want enough money to not stress over basic needs. We want peace. Those things are universal. But instead of focusing on them, we obsess over the petty shit. How someone dresses, who they date, how they talk, how they live. We lose the plot entirely. It's wild how much energy people waste trying to shove others into boxes they don't even want to be in themselves. It's like everyone's playing this performative game, pretending they've got it figured out, when deep down, they're just as confused as everyone else. But rather than admit that, they double down on judgment, like that makes them wiser. I've talked to dozens of people in different situations with wildly different approaches to everything. Relationships, jobs, parenting, ambition. And not a single one had the same take. Not one. It's like everyone's got their own internal compass, pointing in slightly different directions. That's not chaos. That's diversity. That's what makes us human. The older I get, the more obvious it becomes that people are just improvising. They're trying shit, hoping it works, failing, trying again. The successful ones aren't the ones who followed some golden rule book. They're the ones who owned their mess, adapted, and kept moving. So maybe instead of judging people for not being universal, we should just admit that the whole concept is bullshit. Life isn't a template, it's a canvas. And everyone paints with their own damn colors. And if someone doesn't like your painting, that's their problem. You're not here to be a replica, you're here to be real. So, paint your weird, wild, messy masterpiece and stop apologizing for it. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.